Hello, everyone, and welcome to Time of Death. I am Ris.
And I'm Dee.
And we are two nurses that like to talk true crime. We like to focus on cases that have a heavy medical influence to them, or cases that feature a medical professional as the perpetrator or the victim. Or just any old case that tickles our fancy.
Love that Ris put that in there because I caught a lot of flack recently. Because I keep getting sucked into these interesting medical cases.
And I don't think there's anything wrong with that, but I do think we need, and I do the same thing too, but I do think we need a better, like a happier medium with true crime case as well. You know what I mean?
That's true. That's true. What do you mean? Like actual
crimes. Not just fascinating stories, like actual medical, like actual true crime cases.
All right. So anyways, my last hurrah of true crime, but not really true crime.
You know, it's a fascinating medical mystery.
No, it's not medical. It's identity theft.
Okay. You're on your own this time.
But it is a healthcare worker who did a crime, and it is true.
You know, I think that's pretty in line with what we're looking for.
Yeah.
Actually,
listen,
I'm pleasantly surprised.
I am pleasantly surprised too. As I said, son of a gun, because I do them in advance. Sometimes I forget. And now I'm a little out of my element as well because Riz is going on vacation. So I'm going to be by myself on Wednesday, which is going to feel very weird. And yeah, I'm struggling.
So I asked D, I'm going to do the case like this weekend. And this is the weekend before.
No, you did not say a word about doing it early. You little stinker.
I was going to do it right now.
You,
Riz.
That's
literally what I was saying.
No, today, Riz turns to me and goes, "Can we do the case tomorrow?" I said, "Riz, I have plans tomorrow." And Riz goes, "Oh."
Gosh darn it. I'm not prepared.
You're leaving your house? Wow, good job. But
she didn't tell me what she was doing, but she said she had plans.
I do have plans.
So I'm very curious.
Yeah,
what are you doing?
Can't tell you.
What?
Can't tell you. Not on the podcast.
Oh my God. Oh my God.
Just use your imagination.
Oh God. Don't tell me to do that.
I know your imagination is not. Our minds are twisted at this point by all the stuff we've seen.
So D, my savior, said, "Let me just do the case that I have already prepared a week and a half in advance." I said, "Say less." I'll do it.
Let's do it. Let's do it.
Well, Jimmy told me just go on vacation and record virtually, like with Zoom.
I'll tell you right now, I'm so glad we didn't do that because I would have had so many problems.
I said, no way am I doing that.
On vacation?
No. No, I'm preparing early.
Hey, can we do the episode tomorrow? I was like, WTF?
Can we do it tomorrow? Because I'm leaving Monday.
Listen, I'm a planner. Believe it or not. You wouldn't think it listening to this podcast, but I am a planner. I have a plan for everything.
Yeah.
Riz, you would think is the planner, but no.
I'm trying to be better at it. I like to have a plan, but it doesn't always come that way.
You're more flexible.
Yes, that's true.
But when she does have a plan, she sticks to it.
Yeah, when she has a plan, she rocks with it.
That's because I'm headstrong.
Imagine a scenario.
Okay.
You are no longer Riz on Time of Death podcast.
Who am I?
We'll get into that. Your identity is stolen. Yet no one believes that you are the victim. This sounds like a nightmare, right?
Yeah.
However, this was the harsh reality for Mr. William Woods. His name even sounds fake, to be honest with you.
It does. Bill Woods.
Despite his pleas and even providing physical evidence that someone had stolen his security card number and racked up hundreds of thousands of dollars in debt, authorities just did not believe him. Wow, okay. I can't believe I yawned. I thought that was such a captivating. And this case is recent.
I'm sorry, I'm tired. I'm tired.
They thought that his own security card was a fake and refused to accept that he was the real William Woods. All I could think of during this case was the song, "Will the Real Slim Shady Please Stand Up?"
Will the real William Woods please stand up? And
Please.
William says, I'm standing. What the heck?
What the heck? I've been here.
I've been here.
Unbelievably, Woods himself not only was not believed, but was wrongfully accused of unauthorized use of William Woods' personal information.
Did he have other documents showing he was William Woods?
We'll get into that.
What the heck?
For over 2 years, he was in some kind of custody, including over 100 days in a psychiatric hospital.
What year was this?
This is very recent. This April 2024 it came to light.
Oh my god.
After being worn down by the system, William pled no contest to charges of identity theft and false impersonation of his own name, settling for a time-served sentence and immediate release. Introducing Matthew David Kiernans, a.k.a. the fake William Woods. He was the individual responsible for everything that was going wrong in the real William's life. And in April 2024, very recent, he admitted to making false statements to a National Credit Union Administration insured institution, which is a mouthful for a bank, committing aggravated identity theft, which I had not heard of before, according to the U.S. Attorney's Office for the Northern District of Iowa. He is 58 years old and facing a max sentence of 32 years in prison. Wow. So he's going to be a dinosaur when he gets out. Los Angeles Police Department, which actually arrested the real William Woods in 2019, stated that the department is aware of the case and, quote, actively investigating, end quote. The Los Angeles County District's office announced that the office had filed a motion to overturn the wrongful conviction of William Woods.
As they should.
They should. What happens here is very unsettling, especially from like a psychiatric perspective.
Yeah.
But the really horrible part, we'll get into it, but he had documentation.
I know, but if that's all we rely on, that's
poor. We'll get into, listen, it's very unsettling. The identity theft began over 40 years ago at a hot dog stand in Albuquerque, New Mexico. William had been working there for several years when Kiernans, a.k.a. Matthew, a.k.a. fake William Woods. I'm just going to call him Fake. Fake Matthew.
What's his name?
Fake Matthew.
No.
Matthew David Kiernans.
Wait. Fake Matthew you're going to call him?
Yeah, Fake Matthew and Real William.
Why didn't you just call him William?
But he's not William.
Or why didn't you just call him Matthew?
I don't know. I want to sound like,
Fake Matthew?
Fake Matthew.
But Matthew's his real name.
Matthew the Faker. There we go.
Okay.
Matthew the Faker. So Matthew the Faker was hired in 1988. They didn't interact much until the real William's wallet went missing.
So they worked together.
Yes.
Okay.
At the hot dog stand.
Okay.
According to real William, when he confronted Matthew the Faker about the theft, Matthew Faker didn't respond until William threatened him, and then Matthew the Faker returned William's wallet. In the wallet was his social security card and birth certificate that he double-checked were still in there. But that was the documentation that Matthew the Faker needed to steal William's info. Not carry your social security card or your birth certificate.
Yes.
Keep your birth certificate and your social security card somewhere safe, not where other people can access it. Like your wallet. After 1988, so after that incident with the wallet, there was no record of Matthew the Faker using his own name, date of birth, or social security number. So he just poof off the face of the earth. Instead, he began using real William's identity to get a job, insurance, used his social security number, got a driver's license, titles, loans, and even credit. He went on to file taxes under William's name. December 1990, Matthew the Faker obtained a Colorado ID number using William's name, and then got a job at a fast food restaurant, opened a new bank account with the stolen identity. September 1991, Matthew the Faker, while impersonating the real William, purchased a car for $600 for bounced checks, which led to an arrest warrant for William.
Oh my God.
As if this is not bad enough, Matthew the Faker's lies extended into his personal life. He married in 1994 and had a child who carried the last name Woods.
Wow.
So he's creating children with this identity. That's crazy to me.
What was his motive for all this?
I could not delve that. I don't know what it was, but he just took advantage. I think it started out where he was like doing criminal activity, etc., but just buckle in. It gets crazier. So he had this child whose last name was Woods, and in order to keep up the scam, Matthew the Faker got a certified birth certificate for William from Kentucky in 2012 using information from Ancestry.com.
What the?
So now there's a flair for the technology.
It's very reassuring how easy it was for him.
It was so easy. Matthew the Faker later got a job while still using William's name, working as an architect at the University of Iowa hospitals and clinics. He submitted fake info and documents, including a bogus I-9 form, social security number, and even date of birth. Matthew the Faker worked remotely from his house in Wisconsin and earned at least $700,000 during his time working at that hospital. So he was making good money as an architect.
Did he have an actual degree, did you say anywhere, for doing that?
I did not see that. But this is just like breaking. Like it's still like it's only happened within the past few months. So I think more info will come out over time. From 2016 to 2022, he took out vehicle and personal loans from various credit unions under William's name. The grand total was over $200,000.
Wowza.
So as Matthew the Faker is living his best life as fake William, the real William is really struggling. After leaving New Mexico, William worked as a day laborer in El Paso and then went on to take a job at a laundromat in Vegas and eventually relocated in Southern California. He lived in San Diego for several years while working in tech. He then moved to Santa Monica in 2009 and just bounced around from hotel to motels in the area. He made a living by selling gemstones, gold scraps, and other items he found in downtown LA in their jewelry district. August 20th, 2019, William, who was homeless at the time, visited a branch of a major bank in LA and told the assistant branch manager that he had recently discovered someone was using his credit to rack up a huge amount of debt, aka the over $200,000. He requested his account numbers so that he can then close those accounts. William gave the branch his social security card, which was authentic, and the California ID, again, authentic. And while the name and social security numbers matched the bank accounts opened by the Matthew the Faker. Matthew the Faker. William was not able to answer the security questions that Matthew had set up.
Oh, okay.
The bank employee called the phone number that was associated with the accounts,
Oh, no.
which were Matthew's. I know, I'm trying to keep it straight. Matthew the Faker answered and said no one in California should have access to his bank accounts. It was not him. He then answered his own security questions, which were in reality were William's, which caused the assistant branch manager to call the police on William.
So, just so I'm clear, Matthew the Faker, had an account.
Yep.
And used his own security questions to be put in place as security measure. And real William, went, said, this was someone's using my identity, and couldn't answer the security questions appropriately. So they called Matthew. Matthew said no.
So he gets the police call on him, and LAPD officers respond to the call. They end up calling Matthew the Faker over the phone, and he faxes them a fake social security card, a Wisconsin driver's license, and a Kentucky birth certificate, again, that he got off of Ancestry.com.
Oh my God.
The officers then went on to arrest William for unauthorized use of personal information, his own. On October 31st, the DA's office charged William with 2 felonies, using the name Matthew Kierans, which is the name, ironically, of the individual who had stolen his identity. So essentially, they swapped identities.
So the police said, okay, you're the real Matthew
No,
Kiernans or whatever?
they said, you are impersonating William Woods.
Yeah.
Your real name is Matthew Kierans.
Yeah.
But in reality, he is the real William,
Yeah.
and Matthew Kierans is stolen his identity.
Yeah.
So they
Okay.
swapped.
Mhm.
In court that day, William told the judge, I am not Matthew Kierans. But why was he mistaken as Matthew, the person who stole his identity?
I was going to ask, why did they assume he was Matthew?
I have a suspicion that Matthew the Faker said, this guy's been doing it. His name is Matthew
Oh.
Kierans. Because how else could they get that name?
But you didn't see that anywhere? You
No,
just are
I
assuming?
didn't see it, but I'm assuming. I'm speculating. The police are not sure why he was mistakenly associated with that name. 2 months later, William goes again to tell the court, no, I'm not Kierans at all. He requested a new attorney, a new investigator, and although his statements were sometimes confusing, including claims that the investigator was in Mexico, that he had received a password, the judge had enough and just said, I'm sorry, stop. You've got to stop. William's own public defender went on the record doubting his competency to stand trial, causing the judge to suspend the criminal proceedings and deciding to appoint William a psychiatrist. I want to talk to the FBI, William said. The judge responded, you can give them a call. Hold on. I want some FBI agents to come down here, William insisted. It's just so sad.
Yeah.
And the FBI never got involved.
Yeah.
February 2020, the judge found that William was not mentally competent to stand trial and ordered him to be placed in a psychiatric hospital and prescribed psychotropic medications. He was then transferred to Patton State Hospital.
This poor guy.
He goes on to say, people just didn't listen, and they didn't believe I was who I said I was.
Yeah.
They painted me as crazy. During this period, Matthew the Faker is still communicating with LA, the police department, asking for updates. March 2020, Matthew the Faker writes to the assistant district attorney asking if the case was moving forward and whether there would be any court hearings more frequently to assess William's competency. The DA would confirm that this investigation will continue until William regained competency.
Mm-hmm.
Woods was convicted of felony charges in March 2021. He pled no contest.
He pled no contest?
Yep, he pled no contest and was sentenced to 2 years in jail, although the court credited him with 428 days already served in jail and 147 days in the hospital. So he not only had to be involuntarily committed to a psychiatric facility, he also spent over a year just in jail.
Mm-hmm.
He was ordered to stop using his own name, William Woods. He was court ordered. William Woods said that he accepted the plea deal so the case against him would be resolved. Quote, "At first I kept saying, I'm not guilty, but they wouldn't believe me. They just wouldn't believe it." August 2021, William contacted the local police department in Wisconsin to report that Matthew the Faker had stolen his identity. So he's not stopping.
Mm-hmm.
He may have pled no contest, but son of a gun, he's going to get something done.
Mm-hmm.
During the same month, Matthew the Faker filed a false complaint alleging that William had stolen his identity. Yep. So he said, instead of him stealing William's identity, this guy is alleging to be William and I'm William.
Mm-hmm.
To clear his credit report, William filed customer disputes. Meanwhile, Matthew the Faker submitted a second identity theft complaint with police and provided a notarized statement supporting his claim. Yep. January 2023, William found out that Matthew the Faker is working at a hospital.
Mm-hmm.
He reached out to their security department at Iowa City Hospital. So he goes directly to the hospital and he says, listen, security, you got to look into this. His complaint was referred to the University of Iowa Police Department. Detective Ian Mallory collected DNA from William and his father, who was listed on the Kentucky birth certificate. The DNA test confirmed that William was his father's son, and who he said he was all along.
Yeah.
Later, during an interview with Detective Mallory, Matthew the Faker described William as crazy and suggested that he needed help and should be locked up. When Detective Mallory asked Matthew the Faker for his father's name, Matthew the Faker accidentally provided the first name of his actual real father.
That's pretty dumb.
The detective then said, I have DNA though, and you are not who you say you are. Matthew Faker said, quote, "My life is over. Everything is gone." Yep. Drama queen on top of everything else. On April 1st of this year, Matthew the Faker pled guilty in federal court in Cedar Rapids, Iowa. He remains in the custody of the United States Marshal while he awaits sentencing. William spoke about his experience, especially feeling that the police are corrupt and politicians nationwide are corrupt as well, alleging that LAPD officers were aware of his true identity all along and conspired with Matthew the Faker and the bank to, quote, quote, deliberately imprisoned me. He is considering legal action. When asked about Williams' allegations, LAPD referred to the ongoing investigation, stating, quote, additional information regarding this case is not currently available. So their mouths are sealed. Eric Kilmer, who ran the hot dog stand way back in the 1980s, where the two had met, described William as, quote, the most innocent person you'll ever meet. He said that oftentimes people had taken advantage of William. Last year, William returned to Albuquerque, where he was living in a hotel. He's currently staying in a friend's van in El Paso. What's next for me? I guess I'll have to recover everything I lost and rebuild my life.
Wow.
So my takeaway from this case is that everyone needs to understand and consider the profound mental health effects of being wrongfully accused and identity theft. The case of William showcases the severe psychological toll, as this is significant trauma. Being falsely accused or wrongfully imprisoned causes distress, as well on top of this trauma. And then that's not even considering what might happen in the prison system and different traumas he could be subjected to there as well. Imagine being accused of a crime you didn't commit, coupled with isolation, the stigma of incarceration, being called your perpetrator's name, told not to use your own. All of this could lead to significant mental health challenges, including anxiety, depression, and I would say even psychosis.
Yeah. Well, during that whole time when he was hospitalized and, you know, dealing with prison time as well, he probably was called Matthew. Like, that was what he was referred to, and he probably was, you know, corrected whenever he, you know, tried to identify as his true self.
That's like brainwashing to the max.
It is.
It's very unsettling. I also think that, you know, there really needs to be an importance in ensuring that mental health considerations are part of the legal process. And when people are in distress, for whatever reason, they deserve a system that not only seeks justice, but prioritizes their psychological well-being. You know? It was just my 2 cents.
Yeah. No, I agree with you. And this, you know, obviously turned his whole world upside down. And so, yeah, I mean, I think he should pursue legal action. Like he said he was gonna, but
absolutely,
that should not have happened.
No, it's tragic, and again, we need to be compassionate. Everyone deserves to be heard, believed, and treated with dignity. I'm a big proponent of that.
Yeah, no, I agree.
But that's all I got. Happy for you, William. Happy you're getting justice.
Yes.
And Matthew the faker.
And I wonder what's going on with Matthew the faker. Like, how... Like, I wonder if he was so unhappy with his own life. Like, he needed to take William's identity and he just found him as an easy target. Or I wonder if it started out as, like, just a way to gain from his, you know, to take his money and benefit that way. And then it just morphed into full-on identity theft. You know what I mean? Like, his whole person, even working under William's identity. How does that, like, why would you do that? You know what I mean?
Well, interestingly, Matthew the faker was adopted. So I feel like that could possibly have some kind of implication as to why he wanted to claim William's identity. Maybe he, in his own way. You know, I'm not sure what I have not talked to him. I haven't read anything about what his thought process behind doing this was, but I can speculate that, you know, identity is something that a lot of kids who are adopted struggle with.
Yeah.
And maybe this was him in his own way trying to reclaim that part of himself.
I guess that makes sense.
But
It's just crazy to me.
you shouldn't, I mean, I'm all for reclaiming identity and everything, but not at the expense of other people.
Agreed.
So,
Agreed.
That's all I got.
It's important to do it just properly
Do it properly.
and without hurting other people.
Dude, I can't. He said that he deserved to be locked up. Like, what a terrible freaking person.
Yeah, I don't know. That's really odd behavior.
For sure. For sure.
All right. Well, Dee, thank you for saving my butt yet again.
I'll wait anytime. You're my baby sister.
You always do. And thank you for an interesting. I actually really enjoyed that case.
Thank you.
So
No hate. No hate. It was crime and it was healthcare. Yes, he's an architect, but he's still a healthcare worker.
he worked at a hospital.
There you go.
There you go. No hate, just potato.
Potato. Oh, we thought. All
Just
right.
potato.
Call it. I'm tired.
The time is 20:06. This episode was filmed in advance, so it will be released on Wednesday night. But the time tonight is 20:06. That's 8:06 p.m. for those of you who do not use military time. And we are leaving.
You're leaving.
I'm leaving. I'm going on vacation.
Enjoy vacation.
Thank you.
Little beach bum.
I will. I'm going to just lay on the beach like a starfish. Read my books.
Oh, that's cute. All right. Love you guys. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye.